Hey, welcome back to the Make Show Workshop. We are going to go with this top-down view today on this totally. I got a request off our Facebook page, which we have, I think, about 60 or 70 people, a nice small group right now, which is nice and lovely, because when they get so big, they get a little big and unwieldy. But we got a request on our Facebook group about doing a left chest graphic with our EZ Tee, and we're going to show you a demonstration of that today. So I'm going to get it right into it. So as you see, we got laid down in front of you a flat shirt, all pressed out and ready to go. That's what you want to do. You want to pre-press all your shirts, whatever graphics you're doing, and get them prepped so they lay flat onto the place you're pressing. As you know, we are just using a heat pad on a regular table here, and we're using our Easy Press because we go very low profile here. We teach classes here in our shop in Singapore, and we like to teach classes for really affordable and space-saving type of things, and that's why we go really low profile. So anything you see what we're doing here, you could scale up to a large heat press very easily. The low profile way is probably the hardest way to do it. So with that said, we'll get right into it. Your shirt is pressed out here, laid out nice. What you're gonna do is lay your EZ Tee right around the collar, pretty quick and easy to do. And once you have your EZ Tee press, you have a lot of locations now set for you. But there's what's called an absolute location, and then there's a subjective location. So an absolute or objective location is a place on the shirt that it just is. So this creates the center line of your shirt, and by putting this around the collar, you get the center of the shirt, and that is the center of your shirt. Now, when we talk about subjective, or when it's up to opinion and design placement on the shirt, we're talking about the distance from the collar. And we're talking about, with the left shirt graphic, we're talking about the distance away from the center and where it's placed. These are all subjective, meaning they're going to be subject to what you desire or what maybe your customer desires, what the design is, because some designs are going to look better in different places and turned in different ways. Even when it comes to this alignment, the line across here, this is going to give you an objective straight line across your shirt once you line it up with the collar. But there are some people that might want graphics that fit like that because of the design. These are all subjective things, but the objective points that the EZ Tee gives you consistently every time is the direct center line and this direct parallel line across your shirt. But today we're talking about the left shirt graphics, which is very subjective. So we're gonna, what I'm telling you is moving out to the left shirt from the center is not hard rules. These are subjective rules, kind of rules that we've looked up in the industry and seen in the past. I've been making shirts since the 90s. I really had a good time start making shirts for police officers back in the 90s using when we were printing on inkjet. Epson had inkjet paper that you printed out your inkjet and you could press on a shirt. But a lot of those guys were getting their t-shirts underneath, and they wanted their badge, little badge here with their badge number on it, identifying them on their t-shirts. And so we did a little research into the left chest graphics back then, and there's no real set rule. So you're not going to get a hard rule for where it's at, but you're going to get where you're comfortable at. And what the EZ Tee is going to help you is going to deliver consistency. And that's the most important thing. So if you have like clients that you're working with that are like at a bar, or maybe you're doing police officer shirts, or you're doing a company shirt, because that's usually the people who get left t-shirts graphics. If you hit the exact same place every time, your t-shirts are going to be great. The problem's going to be is if some of your is here, if some of here, that's going to show up really quickly. So what the t-shirt guide is going to do, it's going to help you deliver consistency, especially on your multiple shirts when you're making 5, 10, 15 of the same shirts. so you can consistently deliver the graphics in the same place. But with that said, our distance down from the collar that we use is the 2-inch from the bottom of the collar, which gives you about 3 inches from the top of the collar. It comes from the 3-finger rule, which some people I think have been confusing it and calling the 3-finger rule and turning it into the 3-inch rule, and they end up with graphics that are down here. A little bit low on your bigger shirts, it probably works out, but and anything from a regular large down to small, that becomes really low. It starts hitting the person in the middle of the stomach. I actually had a customer request a t-shirt guide that was in with 3 inches. We made it for them. We're thinking about releasing it, but when we did our tests, it was just way too low on most shirts. It worked out on your larger shirts, but it was way too low on most shirts. But we start with 2 inches. That brings you down from the bottom of your collar to our line point here, and then over to get to your left side, we have a left chest mark. Now, if you look up where should a left chest mark go, you're going to see people say they won't even give you a set answer. They will give you a in-between answer. They're going to say in between 3.5 and 4 1/4. So what we did was split the difference right there, and we put a line right down the middle. And so this gives you an area of where you should shoot for to put your left shirt graphics. So the first thing you should start with is your design. The design we're doing today, we're going to do what I would think is a nice little pretty layered butterfly, which is a good about 2.5 inch logo will go there. So we'll start with the background first. So one pro tip you can do to actually work with the EZ Tee, you can use your carrier sheet and design in your carrier sheet to help you move around. So that's what I did here. I wanted this one sit just a tad bit lower. So I put my design a 1/2 inch down so that when it cuts on the carrier sheet, there's a 1/2 inch on the carrier sheet. So with that, I would place the bottom of my carrier sheet up against my EZ Tee and then line up with the center with the line there. Now, would it be wrong if I decided, I wanted to move it to here? Preferably for me, I say that's too close to the center. If I said I want to put it there. For me, it's too close to the armpit. So that's my preference. Would it be wrong? I would say no, nothing is wrong when you're doing, but for the look that I want, I'm going to go and put it right here on the center. So when I put it right here on the center, I end up with a left chest logo how I like. About 2.5 inches from the collar, from the bottom collar of the shirt, and lined up closely with the edge of the collar of the shirt. As you change designs and change sizes of the shirts, you can move it around. So the EZ Tee is not a robot that's going to say, put it here every time, put it here every time. What it's going to do is going to give you guidance so that you can place it and put it where you want, and then you can replicate that placement every time you put it down. Once you get that set, EZ Tee's job is done, quickly gets out the way, and now we're just using the pressing. My EZ Press is beeping because I wasn't using it. I had it on for a while. So first thing, we will go ahead and do a quick press on that. Actually press the button this time. Get a good countdown. Really not putting any pressure on this. This is actually layerable glitter. It fits on very nice. One of the key issues to it though is that you really, when you're layering onto it, you need to cool it down. So we take our cooling block, and when you first touch it's hot to the touch. The cooling block really brings the temperature down on that. Once we get the temperature down quickly, we can easily peel away our carrier sheet there, and then we use the graphic. I like to use the graphic to be my lineup for my next one under. And we'll just line that up quickly. I think it slid on me a little bit. Both of these HTVs I got from a website called Heat Transfer Source. They're very unique, very cool, very nice to work with. I'll heat that one up. They do, when you get them, you have to be careful, do some tests of what you can layer on the glitter, because glitter is normally not a layerable HTV. But I found some things that work out well, layering on it, some that do not. And then you need to definitely take down the heat to bring that layer so it doesn't delaminate or peel away from the layer underneath. So we're gonna cool that down really well and then pull it off. Cooling them down came out very clean. Cooling them down, especially with detailed graphics, like this is very dainty and detailed, is important because there's not a lot of surface area for it to grab to. So you wanna make sure you get it really cooled down and really adhere to the layer below. And that's why we'll do a single press again to make sure these little dainty details really adhere and sink into the glitter layer underneath. Like that, we press it up. We don't really need to cool that one down. And there we have a left chest graphic. Pretty big left chest graphic, but as you can see, it's hitting about off the edge of our collar, almost at the midpoint of the sleeve. And my preference, this is where I prefer to have a left chest graphic. If that graphic ended up down here, would it be wrong? No, it just wouldn't be what I prefer. If it ended up here, would it be wrong? No, it just wouldn't be what I prefer. If a little bit this way or that way, would it be wrong? No, it just wouldn't be what I prefer. But again, like I said, now after you do the one shirt, you can come back and do your next shirt, and you repeat the process with the EZ Tee and your carrier sheet, and what you're gonna get is a consistent left chest placement every time. And that's probably the most important point. Not whether it's a little bit here, a little bit there, or a little bit here, but that it hits the same spot every time, specifically if you're doing shirts for customers and multiple shirts for customers. So I hope you like that demonstration. We're gonna do more of those about using the EZ Tee, because I know that's why a lot of you guys are here, but we're gonna do a lot more about other types of crafts that we're working on here in the shop, because we don't just make t-shirts, but we do love making t-shirts. But I'm glad you guys had a chance to check that out. And we were really busy this week, so it took me a couple days to get to make this, but hopefully we're freeing up some time and I can spend some points sharing some of the stuff we're creating with you and answering your questions. And I think it's great, the person who actually asked this question and wanted to see it, this is exactly how I was envisioning this group is working. Somebody says, hey, does this work? Does that work? Even if it's things that we don't know if it works, we can work on it and find out together. So thanks for watching.